Well, hello everybody, welcome back. I am so excited to see everybody, but some of you don't know the office staff, and as we call ourselves affectionately the office squad, and I want you to meet them. So my first person is Mr. Gotchel. Come on in.
Hey guys,
This is Mr.
I'm Mr.
Gotchel.
Gotchel. I'm the school counselor.
Yeah.
So my job here is to help. I help students, I help staff, I help the office people, I help people from the community, parents. So if you need anything, if there's anything I can do to help you, just let your teacher know or find me and let me know.
And he's awesome. You guys are going to love him.
We're going to have a great year.
Yes, we are. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gotchel. All right, next, my buddy, Mrs. Armstrong.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Mrs. Armstrong. I'm the health aide. I'll help you if you're not feeling well, if you get a cut, if you have a scratch, just come see me after you talk to your teacher. And we'll try to get you straightened up.
Some of you sometimes sneak in and your teacher doesn't know. So we want to make sure that your teacher knows you're in the office, okay? And outside, I think we're going to have an office pass with the teacher on duty. They will get it, and then you will bring it up. So Mrs. Armstrong might know that you're coming, okay? All right. And I have one more to introduce, but before I do, I realized I never said who I am. So I am Mrs. Miller, and I am the secretary, and I'm in the office. So if you need any help for anything, you just come in, and I will help you out, okay? And if your parents need any questions answered, they can just call me. So you'll see me a lot. I'm also with the news crew, so you will just see me on the announcements. Now, I have one more person. He's a very special person. He is head of everything. He is our principal. And most of you know him already. He's awesome. It's Mr. Thompson. Come on in.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Miller. And I know we got to meet this morning on the morning announcements, and I'm thankful for Mrs. Miller being our building secretary and really doing a lot of great things for our students and our staff. I want to be able to say a few things as far as reminders for those returning, but also for those who are new, just some information that will be helpful in the middle of the day when we go to lunch and to recess. Your teachers will be giving you a lot of information about different expectations in the classroom and around the building and outside, but I feel like there's a couple of things that I think would be helpful to go over. So the first thing, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about recess. So when we go outside, we have a very, very large playground full of space to be able to run, to play. We have equipment, we have all kinds of great things that are out there. It's only going to be as fun and enjoyable as you make it by treating people with respect and being able to be good sports when you win and when you lose. It's no fun to be around people who are just making it hard for themselves really and for others. So outside, obviously we have the playground equipment, but we also have a kickball field. For those that are returning, please make sure that those who are wanting to play feel like they can be joined into that. They may not know exactly where that's located, but there's a kickball field that is there. We have a designated football area that is in front of the pavilion, and then behind the pavilion we have a dedicated soccer space as well. So during those times, again, you can start a game. We don't want people leaving and coming and leaving and coming and going back and forth on it. We do want you to be dedicated to that during that 20-minute time period before the bell rings again. But when the bell rings and people leave to go inside and new people are coming out, I do want you to make sure that you are accepting of new people coming in for a few minutes before and get your teams set, and then you can go at that point. So there's that part of it. Be good sports when you're out there playing. It's for fun. This is not something where we're going to get into arguments and fight and those kinds of things. But when you do have times where you're not getting along very well, let's figure out how we can resolve that by making good choices with our words or walking away from the situation. In the cafeteria, a couple things that are going to be new this year. One is our cooks, our food service. So we have Miss Egan and we have Ms. Reynolds are going to be our two cooks this year. Please welcome them. Make sure you say your please and thank you as you're going through the line. But I also want to let you know that there will be a traffic light that will be in there that will have red, yellow, and green on it. And with that, I just want to tell you how that works, and then we'll be done. So when you come in, the traffic light is going to be on yellow. When you come in, the traffic light is going to be on yellow. What that means is we want you to come in and you can talk. You can talk with your friends and that kind of thing, and you're going to be trying to figure out where you're to go in line or what seats you're going to be going to. But we want you to keep your voice level down to a low voice. Not quite a whisper, but something like that. The main reason is because as people are going through the lunch line, we need for those who are serving them to be able to hear. And when you're talking really loud, it's really hard to do that. The teacher who is on duty will switch the light to green once everyone is through the line. At that time, you can talk at normal. Now, it's not yelling, it's not screaming, it's an inside voice, but you're talking at kind of a normal voice. When we get down to the end of lunchtime, which is going to be the last probably 5 minutes of lunch, it's really time to make sure that we're focused on getting done with eating so that we can get out when we're supposed to, back to recess or to our class. And so at that time, the light will be switched to red. And if it's red, that's a no talking time. It's time to just finish up what you're doing and make sure that you're getting ready for the next place you're to go. If at any point it gets way too loud, the teacher may flip that to red, and that then, or a yellow, and just follow what that means. So those are just some new things this year, or some reminders for outside. Your teachers will talk to you about the lineup procedures going into the cafeteria, out of the cafeteria. They'll also tell you about lineup procedures when it comes to coming off of the playground, but I will leave that for them to share. But just want to make sure that you are as safe and respectful as possible during that time. Is there anything else that you have for them?
I don't think so.
All right.
Do you want anything?
We could talk about dismissal procedures, but I think what I'll do is I will let your teachers talk about those. But I will say this: when they talk about where you're going to go, I would ask that you get in your line, you stay in your line. When you're talking, you keep those conversations down, because you're going to need to be listening for your number. We don't want you to miss being called, or us having to kind of find you. So we need to be really paying attention to what that process looks like, and we'll get everybody home safely, either on the bus or with their families as they pick them up.
I did think about something. If your mom told you this morning that you were riding the bus, and you normally don't ride the bus, you can't tell your teacher you're riding the bus. Your mom has to write a note, or she needs to call me, okay? So don't tell your teacher a plan unless you have a note, or your parent has called in, all right? So your teacher can't take what you say. We need to hear the parent, all right?
Yeah. So we're going to have a great year. It's
Yes,
going to
we
be
are.
a great start to the year.
It's awesome.
But we also have expectations that we expect that you're going to follow. And when we follow those expectations, it's just going to be smoother, and
is.
it'll allow for us to be able to have a good start. So thank you, and teachers, thank you for preparing your students for all the different things that they need to be aware of.
You guys have awesome teachers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Have a great start.
All right. See ya.
See ya.